why do we have to put our headquarters here in Massachusetts and not in
Oh my
California?
God, where else would you want to be?
You know?
Right? I mean, look, you know this, right? I mean, you just saw the demo, and it reminds me, you know, of the shots first fired in Concord and Lexington, Massachusetts, that gave birth to this great country, the United States of America. Massachusetts, we have been about revolution and innovation from the very beginning, and that's why it makes sense. It also makes sense because, you know, here we are at MIT, right? And you came here, Daniela, others came here to study, to learn, and have now found the place to birth a business, and not just a business, but like that 250 years ago, skirmish on a battlefield, what you guys are doing is revolutionary. It's going to change the world. So that's Massachusetts DNA. And, you know, I'll also say this. Last night, I had a chance to see the banner raised at TD Garden for our Boston Celtics. Banner 18. The most storied franchise in all of sports history. And, you know, I appreciate Steve and Nick Paliuca and for so many things, and especially, of course, last night, their stewardship of the Boston Celtics. I think about Boston. Do you know who they whooped last night? The New York Knicks, okay? So while there are some cities, New York, San Francisco, maybe bigger, you know, OpenAI, there's stuff happening there. Boston, I will tell you, kicked New York's ass because we are more nimble, more innovative, more scrappy, just like Liquid AI, who's found a way to like leapfrog everything by doing things twice as fast with half the energy, which leads me to my final point. You know, we've got big goals around climate here, you know, sustainability. We lead the nation when it comes to climate policy. And I love that you found a way to do this and do it with half of the energy. It's incredible. So that's why it makes so much sense that Liquid AI is here in Massachusetts. Woo.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you. So from the state point of view, how are we making sure that we are positioning well in this new AI revolution that we're experiencing?
You know, I think it's about leadership. And as Secretary Yvonne Howe, our great Secretary of Economic Development, she's doing a great job for all of us. And one of the things she put together was an economic development plan. And, you know, Massachusetts, we are the global hub of life sciences because there was a huge investment made on the part of state government and funding. There was work with our incredible ecosystem of colleges and universities and research institutions, and there was love and support given to that ecosystem. And that's what built it into what it is. It's people like you, right? It's people like you, our founders, our entrepreneurs, that we want to support, including through our economic development plan, which includes a few things, you know, doubling down on life sciences, saying that we're going to be the global leader when it comes to climate technology, and importantly, we want to be the global hub for applied AI, okay? We recognize that others may have, you know, built out AI and have some things going, but the race is on to see who's going to use AI to solve the world's most challenging problems. President John F. Kennedy, a Massachusetts native son, said we don't do things because they're easy, we do things because they're hard. So in the race, the challenge to cure disease, to build resilience, you know, to identify how to bring a higher quality of life for people across this planet, something that Liquid AI is going to enable in absolutely revolutionary ways. We want to support that as a state by leaning into this space.
Fantastic. All the reasons for retaining talent. But what are you going to say about really making sure that our talent are actually inventing the technologies here and staying here in the state?
Well, look, I can brag about Titletown and sports, all right? I don't think there's a better place in America, as seen by last night. The quality of life here. Right now, Massachusetts, just for everyone to know, we have been ranked #1 in education, #1 in innovation, #1 in healthcare. We're the #1 place to have a baby, to raise a family, the #1 place to live if you're a woman. And we are among the safest states in the entire country. Boston is the safest city. This all speaks, it's quality of life. And also, you know this, we believe in knowledge, we believe in science. We're the home to the first public school and public library, right? We invented the computer. You told me we invented AI. Somebody did way back here. Yes, I remember that. So, like, look, you know, there's freedoms that we protect. And that's what I, as governor, am going to continue to focus on with our team, protecting those things that make us great. Now, working on, and I think those things that make us great attract talent. You know, it's why we have students and grad students coming from all over the world. It's why we have companies looking to grow here. We have challenges, high cost of housing. So I've said about fixing that. I just signed into law a $5 billion housing bill that's going to generate more housing all over the state so that we can lower housing costs to keep people here. Yes. Public transportation infrastructure, okay? Those of you on the red line, you can knock the red line, but tell you what, for the first time in 8 years, when I started as governor, I put an engineer with transportation experience in charge of that red line, and we have already seen improvements. We are a state that is making those infrastructure improvements in transportation. I put together a team. We've brought back $8 billion from the federal government, the Biden-Harris administration, already in just 22 months. $8 billion going into transportation, infrastructure, housing. All these things, I think, are going to make it easier for people like you to grow and scale here, for our scientists and researchers and graduate students and teaching fellows to actually stay here, and for businesses to look to expand here. And you are just going to be so integral to that because, as I say, you're able to do something twice as fast with half the energy, and we're going to sync up and make sure that we are supporting you because I know it's going to be great things for economic development for our state.
Amazing. Thank you. Let's talk about AI regulations. What is your approach? What is the state's approach compared to the Californians and other nations?
I embrace AI. I embrace AI. Some of you may or may not know this. I was the Attorney General here. I actually worked with Kamala Harris when she was Attorney General in California. And I'm quite familiar with laws and regulations, and all of that serves a purpose. But I think what we've done in Massachusetts in AI is different. One of the things that we did, and I thank Secretary Howe, Secretary Jason Snyder, who is our Secretary of Technology, we set up an AI task force. And some of you, I'm looking out, are on that task force. You know what that task force is about. It's not about regulation. It's about innovation. It's about how do we work together to seize this moment to make sure that Massachusetts is the global hub for applied AI. I think we can lead in innovation, we can scale this, we can figure out what we need to do, while also, of course, being mindful of doing so in a way that is thoughtful and doesn't do an injustice to people or to populations. We can do both at the same time.
Absolutely. So let me conclude by asking you the last question. So I want to ask you about like AI is expensive. AI needs investment. How are we in the state making sure that we get the right amount of investment in place for AI ventures and AI entrepreneurs to actually become innovative and contribute more and become more and more competitive?
Well, I'll start with $100 million. That's what we'll give you, $100 million for applied AI. And I think what we can do is we can leverage that with existing venture money that's here. I mean, we are fortunate in Massachusetts because I think, per GDP, we have probably the lead when it comes to venture funding, and so much of it is going in this space. So I think if we work together as a team, as Yvonne says, and she'll give you all these bracelets, Team Massachusetts, and we're proud that Liquid AI is on Team Massachusetts. It is about teamwork, working together, how we leverage state dollars, private investment, and the great work of our colleges and universities and research institutions to really blow this open and get this done. I'm so excited about what's possible. As a state that invented the rocket ship, and we did, I just can't wait to see this all just take off.
Amazing. Give it up for the Governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.